Hi, everyone. How's it going? Hi, Laura.
Hi, KP. Super
Okay.
excited to be here today with you.
So excited. I know that we always talk about like weather and location, especially for virtual events. And I always try not to, but it is snowing and freezing here in Denver. So I hope you are somewhere warmer. I hope all of our guests are somewhere warmer.
I am lucky enough to be in somewhere very warm. I'm located in Orlando, Florida, and it is, I want to say, closer to 80 degrees right now, 82 degrees. So it's
Oh,
nearly full weather in February, which is not bad at all.
oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. I'm just a little jealous. My dog's like, will not go out. It's so cold here. We're gonna hit negatives this week. Yeah,
Oh,
everyone, we'd love to know where you're dialing in from before we go ahead and get started. We'll give everyone a few minutes to jump in, but yeah, if you want to throw in the chat where you're from, we'd love to hear. Oh, another Floridan.
ooh, nice.
I love it.
Even though for Floridians here, just a few weeks ago, it was snowing in North Florida, which it is insane
I
to think
saw
about.
that. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that. I've got some cousins down in Panama City Beach, and they were sledding on their surfboards, and I was like, "What is going on?"
I love that.
Oh, go Birds, Paul. We're Broncos fans, so we were just anything besides Chiefs fans on Sunday. So I'll give you a go Birds. Awesome. Okay, I'll let a few more come through, and then we can go ahead and get started. Laura, if you want to share your screen, we'll get everyone prepped and ready.
Sounds great. I think Caitlin is let the screen in.
Ooh, a veil. I love it. I'm grew up in Crested Butte. I would love to live in Vail. Okay. Oh, you're perfect. You're sharing. Okay. Amazing. All right, everyone. Well, we're so excited to welcome you to our webinar today. Thank you all so much for joining. We can go to the next screen and I'll get us started on our agenda. So pretty packed agenda, but Laura and I are so excited to dive into our newest product release around Lifecycle Surveys. We were able to test this early, so Laura and I have been working together on this for quite a while, and I'm really excited it's ready for all of you now. So we'll start with some quick introductions. We'll talk through, of course, what employee engagement is, why it matters. This is a 15.5 webinar after all. And then we'll dive into that main event, our life cycle surveys. Laura will share an overview of what we released, how it works. Sorry, excuse me. And then how you can utilize this in your own organization. And then, of course, we'll hold a Q&A at the end. So be sure to submit any questions you have in the chat or in that Q&A feature to the right of your screen. Cool. So housekeeping again, submit those questions. We are recording this, so we'll share it out after the webinar. And there are some fun resources that I think Caitlin's going to share with you all too. So without further ado, we can go ahead and get started. I'm already chatting, so happy to keep going, but I'm Kylee Piper. Everyone here calls me KP. I'm the lead people partner here at 15.5, and I've been here for almost 2 years. So time is flying. Laura and I are going to give you some fun facts. Mine is only fun because we're virtual. If we were in person, it'd be way less fun and more of a very, very obvious fact. But I am 8 months pregnant with my first baby. So excited. For the past 10 years, I've really proudly, but have really defined myself by my work and the people in the HR space. And I love what I do so much. I love working with people. But soon I'm stepping into a brand new role and I'm realizing it doesn't come with any onboarding and it doesn't come with any job description. And I hear that I'm about to have a new boss that's very demanding. So please wish me luck. But without further ado, I'll hand it over to Laura.
Thanks, KP. I'm super excited for you and your new mama role. I'm excited to see how that goes for you. And yeah, it's amazing to have you here with all your HR expertise, especially as an HR company that we are. So very grateful for everything you do for us. So yeah, I am Laura Cristobal. I'm one of the senior product managers at 15.5. I've been here for 4 years. which is mad to think that I've been here for the same amount of time as I've been in college, which is funny. And I've learned probably more than in college, who knows? And I'm originally from Spain, from Madrid. I moved to the US about, I want to say close to 9 years ago now. I moved to San Francisco, and now I'm located in Florida, as I mentioned. And my fun fact is that I started my career as an industrial designer, furniture designer. And then from there, I moved into UX UI design. And then when I moved to San Francisco, I did my first product course. I moved into the startup world, product management, and found my passion and what I'm most excited about, which is to help customers and products and build the right things for the right needs, and understanding all of that and bringing it to life. So that's some of the work that I'll be doing today. And if you have any feedback along the way or any questions, as KP said, I love to hear all of the questions. So send them our way.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Laura. Cool. Well, I'm excited to jump in. If you've been to Thrive, if you've been to any of our customer webinars before, I know that our flywheel will not be new to you, but just to go through it again, we have a diagnose, plan, and act process. And simple, yet it's a really powerful framework, and it's designed to enhance HR effectiveness. So as you can see here, it begins with diagnose, where we gather and analyze data to understand what's working and to see what needs attention. And that evolves using tools like our HR outcomes dashboard to gain insights into trends such as your turnover rates among top performers. I am in that HR dashboard every single day. And next is our planning stage. So this is where we create those strategic action plans based on our diagnosis. So those plans are integrated into platforms like 15Five, where we can ensure accountability and effective communication without relying on emails or spreadsheets, which I know as HR leaders, we live in our emails and our spreadsheets. So even for me, like, it has taken some time and some practice to stay out of the spreadsheets, because it's muscle memory, and to remember, like, oh my gosh, 15Five can do all of this. So those actions in that planning stage, those can include improving your one-on-ones, conducting stay interviews, and fostering career growth. And then finally is that act stage. And that's where we empower managers to actually implement those plans. So those managers will receive support through our AI tools, our training resources tailored specifically to their needs, ensuring they can effectively carry out tasks like stay interviews, which we'll talk a lot about today. So this process and this framework not only supports HR teams at every step, but it also allows for a swift transition from that diagnose to actionable results within 5 months. So today we want to focus on exploring employee engagement, of course, but how our new lifecycle surveys can help enrich the data insights you get from the Diagnose, Plan, Act framework and help you create targeted actions for your employees and your company. Awesome. Cool. So like I said, we're going to talk through employee engagement and why it matters. Would it be a 15Five webinar if we didn't? So when it comes to measuring engagement, specifically here at 15Five, our goal is to empower you all with the answer to these questions. What is engagement? How did we do? What's the trend or the themes that we're seeing? How can we improve? And then from there, the goal is to quickly assess the state of things and then move forward to think about how to improve, which is the perfect example or perfect use case for our Diagnose, Plan, and Act framework. Awesome. So the 15Five employee engagement model aims to measure engagement as a psychological state supported by a robust theoretical framework and validated through psychometric analysis. Then we shift our thinking to the why. So we can start to answer the question, how can we actually improve? So the 15Five engagement survey includes 51 statements that measure 17 drivers, and those statements help you understand the why. The 51 and the 17 can sound like a lot, but in the platform, you're like, oh my gosh, like, this data is incredible. I want more. So we'll take a deeper look at the components of our survey and those robust metrics and insights, how to take action. But at a high level, our survey aims to identify the 17 drivers of engagement, what is impacting engagement at your organization specifically, and how does that compare to other organizations similar to you, areas to celebrate and improve, and then, of course, statement level data so you actually know where to diagnose, plan, and act. And then all of those insights will allow you to create the targeted actions and not blanket HR and initiatives where we're just peanut butter approach, throwing some guesses at the wall. Awesome. So if we're looking at job satisfaction, you're going to see things like, how happy are you with X? Maybe we're only running a once a year survey that just scratches the surface, but where we're really driving employee engagement is through surveying around our proven engagement drivers. And that helps us go deeper into the fundamental issues that impact our people. So at 15.5, we use a combination of employee engagement surveys, Lifecycle surveys, and we use those together to get a continuous pulse on an employee experience. So our engagement surveys help us measure those key drivers, like I mentioned, of engagement at scale, while our Lifecycle surveys automatically gather insights at critical moments. And I'll go into this later, but we use onboarding surveys 30 days after a start date, and of course, then exit interviews when employees leave to gather a lot of data. So you all might be wondering, how do I get ahead of engagement issues before it's too late? Well, that's exactly where Lifecycle Surveys comes in. So I'll pass it over to Laura, who is amazingly going to walk us through our new product and give us a demo today. Oh, it might be the next one. Oh yeah, this is you, Laura. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think I was muted there and I was chatting. Thank you for passing it on to me. And I think you did mention a few of the things, or started talking about the things I'm going to talk about here. But as you mentioned, I want to touch on the Diagnose, Plan, Act, and then how all this connects together. So at 15.5, we believe in not only measuring engagement and performance and retention continuously from day one, but then giving you everything you need to create those strategic action plans and then enable that action through your managers. So after connecting your HRIS to 15.5, measuring engagement is kind of the natural place to start. But until now, it has not been the easiest to do without outside of the major engagement and performance events. And so this is where Lifecycle Surveys comes in, where you now have like an automatic way to trigger engagement surveys along with other type of feedback to make sure the diagnosis step of the Diagnose, Plan, Act is always turned on for you. So today, HR leaders, a lot of them are either missing out on feedback and data from employees at the key moments that matter, like onboarding and exit, or they're manually collecting feedback with, as KP was saying, like another types of tools, other types of surveys, and then they're trying to analyze it, but getting stuck trying to figure out what to do with that data. Not to mention, most of you are buried in work and don't have the time to keep all these tabs open on every single milestone, every single employee. So if you're not consistently gathering employee feedback on what matters most when it matters most, then you're pretty much missing out on a huge opportunity to learn, adjust, and impact your business as an HR leader. And without seeing trending data over time to know what is working or not, you're just basically shooting in the dark with these results and knowing like what's happening over time. So instead of relying only on that quarterly or yearly engagement survey and performance review, these Lifecycle Surveys give you an opportunity to gather important employee feedback during these key moments from the first day to the last day of their employment. So I'm going to go ahead and do a bit of a live demo of this new feature. So I'll share my screen on that one. Super excited about showing some of this. Let me see. Like about 5 clicks to get to the page I'm looking for. There we are. Okay, here we are. So yeah, this tool, Lifecycle Surveys, which is now turned on your left nav bar as a new item. If you have our package Total Platform or the Engage package, this tool will allow organizations like yours to continuously connect with employees, identify what's working well, and cover these areas of opportunities. We have 3 pre-built templates and with automated triggers that you can use to streamline the feedback process. The one is like onboarding survey. The other one is a 90-day check-in. And then we have the exit survey. You can also create your own surveys for, measuring other things that you might want to measure. We're looking for any sort of feedback for adding more templates. If you have feedback of anything you would like to see in here, please let us know. We listen to all of that feedback and we'll follow up on it. But let's just say, for example, if you're utilizing onboarding surveys, then you can ensure your new hires are feeling supported from day one. And then as those employees transition out, our exit surveys provide an opportunity to learn and then improve those retention strategies. And then if you do have Total Platform and you have access to our outcomes dashboard, you might be wondering, are these results connected to the HR outcomes dashboard? And the answer is not right now, but this is definitely a strategic priority for us as we evolve in the future. I did have a meeting about this morning. This is definitely coming up in the upcoming very few months, and it will be there. We do want to give you insights, recommendations, allow you to take action directly from there. So it is coming soon. And then as a next step, I like to show a little bit about how somebody, an HR leader, can set up a 90-day check-in, demonstrating how easy it is to implement and get started with this. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm very excited. I think we launched this officially last Thursday. We already have a lot of customers that are using it already from day one. So this is how easy it is to use. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So let's just imagine that we have an HR leader, and what's most important for her in this review is to understand if new employees are meeting performance expectations early on, which is where the 90-day check-in template comes in. So to achieve this, she wants to ask questions to both managers and employees to gather insights from both perspectives and compare their answers. So she comes into this new tab, and then she navigates the Lifecycle Surveys, and then she's going to click into the Customize button for this specific template. By using the template, it's very user-friendly. She saves time from starting from scratch, coming up with these questions and figuring out what to even ask in the first place. So she'll customize the name to whatever she wants to call it internally. Click next, and then now she has the ability to decide the trigger. So if she wants to send this survey automatically on the 90-day mark from start date, that's what we recommend. Or if she wants to change that date, she can also do that. And then we'll click continue. And then she will have curated questions that align with her goals and appreciates the ability that she can customize them. She can remove any of these questions. She can add her own, which makes it very easy. And then when she feels very comfortable with these types of questions that are validated and shared here, she will click continue, and then she will basically save and see an overview of or summary of what the workflow entails. And knowing that this will be a fully automated process going forward once it's saved. This survey will, as it says here, it will give employees and managers 14 days to respond. For now, there's no ability to customize that, but we might in the future. She's gonna go ahead and save that. And then let's just pretend that some of the employees and the managers have completed that survey. So Jennifer, in this case, where did my surveys go? I have to refresh. There should be on that table below. Oh, here they are. So she's going to scroll down to this table where she can see all of the survey activities that she created. Maybe she has an onboarding one, a survey, exit one, 90-day checking. And now we want to see if there's any responses or results for that one. So I'm going to go straight into view results. And from here, she's first going to look at the charts and track trends, gain insights into the overall responses to identify any patterns. She will have the ability in here to compare results month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year, as well as the ability to filter by group or department any of these results. She can click into here to see who responded what. And then from here, she's going to go back into the overview tab. Over here, she can see a little bit of a summary of what happened with the responses, who completed it, who's incomplete, whose response expired. And then she's going to click into view results for one of the employees that responded. Over here, she can see the individual responses of each person. She can filter by the response type as well. And then with this information, now she can facilitate discussions based on actual feedback between manager and employee. So the overall takeaway of this new feature is supposed to help you, or in this case, Jennifer, maybe my made-up HR leader, transform your 90-day review process into a streamlined, automated workflow that will deliver valuable insights, improving her understanding of new hires' performance and fostering better discussions between managers and employees. So that is it for the demo piece. I don't know if I have any questions so far from what came in. KP, let me know if so.
Nothing I've seen yet.
Okay.
Oh, I think we lost Laura. She'll cut back. Brianna, that's a great question. And eventually I want Laura to answer. She'll talk a little bit more about the product roadmap. But yes, that is future state. So as of right now, how we basically get all of our, when 15.5 shares, creates a life cycle survey, and then shares feedback with managers. We, of course, don't just want to collect it. We want to make sure it reaches managers in a way that drives action. So right now, I'm actually the sole HRBP at 15.5. And I share the reports and the feedback with managers. It, of course, helps them understand those key trends, take meaningful action. It's a little bit manual right now, but it's so much better than being in a Google form like we were before. We had a Google form for exit interviews that, of course, led to a sheet. And there was no like awesome way for me to get it to managers. So current state, yes, it's still a little bit manual, but at least it's all in the product. And then future state would be, yes, managers create it, have the data themselves, which is fantastic. Hey, Laura.
It kicked me out. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
You're fine. I mean, if we get through one webinar without one technical difficulty, like it's bound to happen. But I was just answering Brianna's question.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
A few that are coming in. This one's for you, Laura. Are all surveys anonymous, or do we have a choice to designate anonymous or not?
That is a great question. So the responses are not anonymous. So the feedback we were so lucky to co-build this feature with about 10 early adopters and customers. And the feedback provided was that you don't usually have a ton of people joining the company at the same time. And then you don't usually have a ton of people leaving the company for that exit type of survey data at the same time to not know who the data is coming from. And then you also want to be able to take action on the responses with those people and follow up to understand what happened there. So it is not anonymous in comparison to our engagement review data. And it is on purpose that we're doing that. And there's no ability to decide if a question should be or should not be. But as we add the ability to let managers get access to this information, you will at least be able to decide, do you want only your HR team to see the responses, or do you want managers as well to see the responses?
Fantastic. Thank you. Another one, is this only available when the HRS is linked?
No, absolutely not. You don't need to be integrated with your HRIS. You can use it even if you're not integrated. If you're integrated, that's best, because then your data is up to date and you don't have to worry about anything manually happening. But if you're updating your people manually, then that should work as well.
Awesome. And I think we answered this in our last one, but after employees and managers submit, will their responses for a 90-day survey be visible to the manager/employee for them to discuss, or will only the HR admin see the responses?
Great question. So for now, only the HR admin, and I will share a little bit more about that. I think some of the HR admins we've talked to were concerned about employees not answering things truthfully if they knew their manager was going to see the response. So if I'm being asked, am I having a good onboarding experience? Was I given access to the right tools? And the answer to all of those things from my manager is no. And then I know my manager is going to see that response and I'm new to this business, I probably am not going to respond as truthfully there. And so ideally, like for some questions, you maybe want to keep them private, like you only want to keep HR people from seeing them. But then for some other ones, you will have the ability to give managers visibility to their responses.
Awesome. Let us know if that answered your question. A few more coming through, Laura. Appreciate you. Is there a way to download individual survey results? For example, can we export all responses from a single individual and share them?
So there's no possibility to download them yet. If this is feedback that we continue to get from our customers, we will consider it. So the way that we do is we have sort of this MVP version out with all of this functionality that was validated with early adopters. And then we will continue to gather feedback as more customers use it. And if this feedback continues to be very similar for more than one customer, then we will consider building that piece. So this would be an example of that.
Yeah. Lahana, I see your comment of their managers schedule 60, 90-day touch points after employees complete their survey. So their managers would need visibility into their direct reports. Laura, do you mind talking about like how we would utilize lifecycle surveys versus like a 90-day best self review?
I think they're kind of different. The review product has a lot more flexibility. And then as for now, it cannot be triggered automatically on start date. I want to talk a little bit about the future of this feature and what's coming next. And that might be very exciting, but we will continue to add automation to other features of 15.5. So if you do want to use a BSR product automated with that 90-day trigger, we're going to be adding that in the upcoming months. But for now, you don't have the ability to have that automatic. And so if you want, with the review product, you can do calibrations, you have much more flexibility of the types of questions you can have. It's a much more robust product that also takes more time to set up. I would see this other type of survey as something much more light, much quicker. It's automated. You set it up one time with the few clicks you saw, and then you don't have to think about it again. You can come back and review it once a quarter. So I would see this as a much more lighter touch point to get feedback in an automated way. I would see a review as a more in-depth process if you need that for the 90-day review.
Exactly. That's kind of how I think of it. And hopefully that answered your question, Lahana, or you can see the difference. But the survey is really like getting feedback to us. And then the review would be more so of that feedback conversation of over the last 60 or 90 days, how has it gone? There will be feedback exchanged, etc. But definitely an option for both. So a few more coming in. If we turn on the automatic feature, will it go out immediately to all staff who have been there at least X amount of days, or will it only send to the next new employee who hits the threshold?
That is an excellent question, actually. So once it's set up to automate it, it only goes out to the people that hit that mark of the 30-day mark. If you have employees who are already on day 35, day 36, day 40, and you still want to send it to them because they are not going to get it in the automatic way, you have the option to just click send manually and manually send it to those 3 or 4 people that did not make the cut for the 30-day trigger, if that makes sense. Which I think, KB, you have done that when we released it. You were able to retroactively manually send it to a few people.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you all have a way of just tracking your active roster and you know that somebody may have started, after you launched an automatic cycle, you're able just to manually throw them in there. And they'll still show up in that same cohort, which is fantastic. So I think that answers the next question too, is that's what we'd recommend is if you would like to move your current onboarding surveys to 15.5 with this new feature, if we launch an onboarding survey and employees started 35 days ago, yeah, that's what we would recommend is just to manually send to those folks.
Yes. If Caitlin doesn't mind, I'm going to share my screen and show how to do that. Perfect. So if you go here, you can see that the surveys, some of them are on. So that means they will be going automatically full time. Some of them are just manual, but then I can even go to my automatic one, click here to send manually. And then in here, I will just select the people that I want to send it to. You click send and you can click as many as you want. And then it goes out to those people. So you basically can have an automatic survey that also is sent out manually, or you can have a manual survey where it only goes out manually.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, I think we've got time for one more, but if your question wasn't answered, please know we are more than happy to meet with you. Caitlin has a poll that she'll send out at the end. So we'll end on, if it's customizable, are we able to view the results, Laura?
Yes, you should be able to view results. As we start to do more of adding some of these results into the HR outcomes dashboard, and we want to generate insights and we want to generate trending and allow you to take action, then we definitely recommend to go with the predefined templates from 15.5 because it's going to be very hard for us to do that with every customer's questions and responses. So if you want more a long-term insights and actions, etc., I would recommend sticking with ours. If you want to have your own, you still will see reporting and see all of your answers for yours.
Awesome. I think if we can get one more, and I see one. When creating survey questions, can we add a list of drop-down custom questions? That's what you just said. I only see option and text box options.
I'm not sure, actually. I need to check if we can do that. If it's not there yet, then it's something that we're looking to add for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Laura. Laura's actually going to wrap up with a roadmap. So for you all to see, get a little peek inside, but thank you all so much for joining us today.
Thanks, KB. I appreciate you. Let me pull up the window. Okay, here it is. Let me know if you're able to see it. Yeah, great. So yeah, after showing you this cool feature, thank you so much for all the questions. I am excited to share a little bit about what's next. As I mentioned, we did get a lot of feedback. If you have never been an early adopter of 15.5 and you would love to co-build anything with us, give us feedback about exactly what you want, how you want it. We're always building new things, so you're more than welcome to join me or another team building the next thing. Just let your anybody at 15.5 know, and we will figure out a way to do that. But based on some of that feedback so far, there's two things that we're missing here that people really wanted. One is the ability to send these surveys to a specific groups only. And then the other one was adding the ability to give managers visibility permissions to the results. So those two things are happening as we speak. We're building them right now. We are considering adding other types of template surveys. So if you have other surveys you would like to run, we want to hear about it. We will be adding this data to the HR outcomes dashboard, as I mentioned. And then last but not least, as I was mentioning earlier and gave a teaser already, we are adding more automation to other areas of 15.5. I am pumped about this. We are considering adding automation for things like the best self-review product or an engagement survey based on triggers like start date, but also based on other triggers like if a manager changes, I want this survey to be sent out and things like that. So yeah, that is a little bit about what's next. And as I said, we're always welcoming any feedback. So let us know if we can collaborate in the near future.
Thank you all so much. Thanks, Laura. Have a good day, everyone.
Oh, the poll. Yes. I don't know if anybody's still here, but I think Caitlin did send that. If so, that's great. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.